Hey y'all, happy new year. We made it to finally 2023. 2022 was interesting. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great either, so I'm hoping for better this year around. Yeah, sorry I've been kind of MIA. Like, you know how it is, like the semester before Christmas break is extremely like time consuming and like draining, and then Christmas happens and then that's draining, and then suddenly it's New Year's and that's draining as well. And honestly, like, I'm feeling horrible. You can tell, like, my allergies are like horrible right now, but I wanted to make this video because I don't think I'm gonna have time the rest of this month of January, to be honest. Anyways, I'm here. I may not look great, but just ignore me, like. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a great new year and had great holidays as well. I did get some manga for Christmas. I shared it on my TikTok if you want to see it there. But yeah, so today I wanted to share the top 10 manga series I read in 2022 and why I love them so much. And, you know, just giving a bit of love, you know what I mean, to some manga. Of course, I have some coffee with me today, as always. This is my third cup. And it's 6 p.m. currently, so yeah, and I'm definitely having another. They're gonna be in no particular order because they're all so different. They're all from different genres, and I'll have different reasons why I really enjoyed reading them in 2022, so bear with me. But yeah, let's get started. My top reads of 2022 is from the mangaka Kyoko Okazaki. I think that's how you pronounce her name, for both Helter Skelter and Pink. These both are like one-shot series and they changed my life. Like, they're so profound. Like, I genuinely like wish her good health. And if you know this mangaka, she was hit by a car and she's been a long time ago now, but it has greatly affected her and to this day, and she's, you know, been affected greatly. So I hope for her, you know, recovery and possibly coming back into the manga world and creating more volumes of this or of anything in general, because her ideas are just wow. We can start off with Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter is such a true and honest view about beauty, youth, and fame, and how that affects people and how it can drive people insane, and and how it's just a ripple effect. Like, I don't know, this is such a woman's manga. Like, this manga is for women. Like, if you are a woman, or you know have been subjected to female stereotypes your whole life, you know the power media has over our bodies and how we are portrayed and how it is seen in magazines and in fame. And the way that she discusses those huge topics are very strong and poignant. It's not for everybody, but it personally had a huge effect on me, and it really, I think I'm gonna remember this manga, I think, for the rest of my life. Like, it was amazing. Yeah, it just, the main character, she is a very great character. Sometimes you feel bad for her, other times she is doing things that are horrendous, and she's very manipulative and very cunning. But you know, you sit and think, is she just the product of her upbringing? Is she just the product of the media around her and, you know, the need for fame? And yeah, it's a roller coaster of emotions and deep diving into these huge, heavy topics. But I highly recommend it. The portrayal of media and the portrayal of how we are always trying to look young, always trying to look beautiful, and how it's very damaging and toxic. The society's perception about it. I can do like a whole video essay about this series alone, but I'm just trying to keep it brief. This will stay with me for the rest of my life. I will always have this in my manga collection. I just want to say, I'm not old, like, at all. I'm only 24, but I think reading this, like, because I could have read this when I was 16, it would have a very different effect on me, because at 16, that is when media is really shoved down your throat about what it means to be beautiful, what it means to be perfect and youthful. And as a 24-year-old now, this just like, it's, in a weird way, it's healing, but at the same time, it like rips my heart apart because it's so real and you see it every day. Anyways, yeah, so this one, and then, but yeah, Pink as well. I actually read Pink before I read Helter Skelter, and I was shook. I went into this not knowing anything about it, and I was like, what is going on? Again, Kyoko Okazaki, she does a great job in discussing really heavy and huge topics in a very interesting, odd way, and it leaves you always shocked and very much like, what is going on? This series has a lot to do with trying to stick out from the status quo and like how it, like, going against the wave of things, going against society again. Like, it's very much a thought-provoking piece about society and how this girl is literally the opposite of what is deemed normal, not normal, but deemed acceptable, and how she lives on the outskirts of that. And yeah, it's very interesting story as well. She has a pet alligator. She has crazy family dynamics that are very unhealthy and very toxic, and she also has love dependencies, and it's all very hunky-dory. Like, it's very a lot. I mean, the back of the cover says love and capitalism. I think that sums it up pretty well, what Pink is about. And to be able to take topics such as love and capitalism and put it into a story as quirky as this one is very impressive and very amazing, to be honest. So yeah, Helter Skelter and Pink were such amazing reads in 2022. I'm so happy I have these in my collection, and I hope for this mangaka's recovery and possibly, you know, creating another series. But obviously, all that matters is her health, to be honest. She's already proven herself to be an amazing mangaka with just these two are printed in English. I don't think she has anything else printed in English. I think she has a few more series. I think she has a few more stories that she created, but they never were translated in English, I think. Don't quote me on that. Second series that I loved in 2022 and I rave about, and honestly I never shut up about. Like, I think I've gone on every video, I think I've spoken about this series and how much I love it, and it is, of course, Maison Ikkoku by Rumiko Takahashi. This is, for me, it's everything. I love it. It's one of those series that I don't think gets a lot of attention. It's simple. And when I put quotations under simple, is, you know, it is a slice of life type of romance, and so you're just going through their lives, and it is, for me, such a beautiful story about it, and about character growth and character development, and the idea of love over lost is such a heavy topic, and I think Rumiko does an amazing job with it. I also love Rumiko's art. It's one of my favorite. I don't know if the camera gets, but this is my Rumiko shelf up here. It means everything to me. One day I hope to have everything she's ever created. That is my dream as a collector for manga. Like, it's Rumiko everything. But yeah, Maison Ikkoku, it is such a beautiful story, such a beautiful love story, and such a beautiful individual journey story of Kyoko, the main character here, and her love interest Godai, who goes through his own trials and tribulations. You know, we start off the series and he has he's failing his entrance exams for university. He can't get into university, and that to the end, there's so much things that happen to him and how much he has to endure, and, you know, at the end of the day, he's successful, and it's, you know, you are happy to read things like that in stories. You're happy to root for the underdog, per se. But yeah, I highly recommend this series if you like the slower paced stuff, if you like the mundane, like daily life routine energy of it. Of course, though, it's in Rumiko style, so of course there's goofy side characters like crazy. Like also, I just want to show you the last volume. It just came out recently, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I got this for Christmas actually, and it's Kyoko on her wedding day. Stunning. It was so bittersweet to finish the series, not only because I was collecting it but reading it at the same time, and I would only read as the collector's volumes came out, so I was always anticipating for more. And so now it's over. It's just it pulls at my heart. This is like my most recent read I just finished, so it's so fresh still. Yeah, I love it. I love Maison Ikkoku, and I really recommend if you like what I said it is. Of course, I wouldn't take it personally if you didn't like it. It isn't for everybody. Like a lot of shonen stuff isn't for me, but it's for somebody else, you know what I mean? So yeah, Maison Ikkoku, love her to death. A third series I loved reading 2022, and it was something so unique. Like how do you do that? Like, how does somebody think of a story like this? Like, I don't know how. Like, I wish I had that creative ability in my mind. Anyways, and it is Monster. This was an amazing story. Mind-blowing. I'm somebody who's very skeptical of like mysteries because I always like, it's so obvious, like this is so pointless. But this one actually left me very shocked. It is about a Japanese doctor who lives in Germany in the 80s. And he makes a decision that basically alters his entire life, and because of this decision he has to deal with the certain consequences of that decision, and it's basically him trying to save himself, honestly, because it is a whirlwind of situations that are so intertwined with each other that you don't even realize they're intertwined until it's finally revealed, and you're like, who thinks of this? It is amazing though. This is a mystery. It is a like murder mystery, psychological thriller. It is so much packed into this, and at the same time, so many amazing quotes I read in this series. I could go on for days. Like, I have like so many things, both of them are like annotated on here, like, because I swear to you, every chapter something's going down. And yeah, I highly recommend Monster 2, but I feel like this one's a very like popular series, so I'm sure you probably have read it and you know it. It's also older. Actually, all the series so far that I've talked about are older series, funny enough. But yeah, Monster is absolutely phenomenal. I understand why it is considered to be a masterpiece, a classic. I understand why so many collectors have this series in their book collection. Yeah, this is a series that I always recommend to people who don't read manga, who don't like anime, like that culture, because I think they would still find this extremely enjoyable and they would love it. Like, there's some things, you know, you just wouldn't tell people that are not into anime and manga, and that would be like something like absolute boyfriend. I would never recommend somebody that doesn't understand the shoujo world, like never. But Monster, I would highly recommend to all my friends and everybody around me, because I think this is such a thought-provoking and amazing psychological thriller. But yeah, that's Monster. The pick for my top 2022 manga reads is of course I'm just gonna introduce it as like one of the most popular, I feel like, series in the manga world currently, and that's of course Yona of the Dawn. Yona. I think I started it at the end of 2021, and it's consumed me all of 2022. Like, she's all right here in the flesh, like it's right here. It is a phenomenal story. What amazing world building, characters. Yeah, it just has everything. It has a bit of romance, a lot of adventure, a lot of political warfare, discussions on kingdoms, and it has so many characters, so many amazing characters, so many characters that have depth. That's, I think, one of the strong suits of Yona is almost every character that is introduced has a purpose and has some type of depth to them. They're not one-dimensional, and that's something I really appreciate Yona. It's an amazing series, and it's an amazing shoujo series, mind you. And I think because it's a shoujo, it a lot of times gets ignored by a different section of the manga world. But like, this is a phenomenal series, and I pray every day for a season 2. It deserves a season 2. It deserves so much more recognition from outside our small sphere of people that love Yona. Like, the thing is, Yona is huge with people in like our genre, like in the shoujo world, and people that are a lot more open. Those people that are solely shonen people and like refuse to dip their toes into anything else don't realize how amazing the series is, and they would love it. Like, there's so much action and like fight scenes and amazing world building stories that I could recommend this to anybody. A guy would love this as well. Actually, funny enough, I recommended this show, I recommended the anime for Yona to my cousin, and he loved it. So it's literally, there's no boy girl thing about this. So I highly recommend Yona if you have not checked it out. I mean, it's very popular. I know I'm contradicting myself, because at one point I'm saying it's very popular, like of course you know it, and at the point I'm saying, well, you know, it's popular but in a very specific group of people. And would I recommend this to people that don't watch manga or anime? Probably not, simply because it's very intimidating how long it is. But if this was to ever get a full anime and adaptation, 100%. Like, this is amazing. This is peak fiction right here. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, that is one of my top picks of 2022. Speaking of shonen, my 5th top pick of 2022 of what I've read is Jujutsu Kaisen. This series has eaten me alive. I wish I was joking. I am obsessed. Like, it's not in frame, but I have posters of Gojo over there. Up here I have like little, like, look at them, they're so cute. Yeah, I'm obsessed. I read them, I watched the anime when it was airing in 2021. Yeah, it was like end of December and then January, February, I think that's how it was. Yeah, 2021, yeah. Anyways, and then I was like, I really enjoyed that. I'm gonna collect the series. And then I was collecting for the longest time without reading it. So I finally, I think it was in the summer, or no, it was like September. No, it was the summer, yeah. In August, around August time, I finally was like, you know what, I'm gonna take my time and just read all of it. Just get right through it all. Look at the way I'm holding this. This is volume 9. This is one of my favorite volumes. This shit hurt. And I've talked about this before on my channel, of how much I like Jujutsu Kaisen and how the characters make it for me. And yeah, you'll love this. This series is probably the most popular series I will be talking about today. Like, Jujutsu Kaisen is a great shonen series. It's addictive. It just hits. It just does what shonen series needs to do. You know what I mean? Like, it does what it needs to do, and it is so addicting. I highly recommend, if in general you like shonen, or if in general you want to read something with really cool characters. That's for me what I really love, the characters. I love the sorcery as well, but that for me is not always the most important part. I just love when Geto and Gojo interact. Like, that for me, this is why this is my favorite, for me was like the biggest deal. And yeah, so this is one of my top picks as well, Jujutsu Kaisen. And I am excited to see where the series goes, that's for sure. Before I put Jujutsu Kaisen away, I've had so much going on with Jujutsu Kaisen. One, I got spoiled on TikTok about people that pass away. I went to Fan Expo, went crazy, and bought like one of those mystery bags of Jujutsu Kaisen stuff. So I have a shit load of Jujutsu Kaisen stuff. Like I have posters, I have keychains, I have so many things. I have stickers, I have pins. Anyways, I literally went to the movie theaters, forced my sister and my cousin to come with me to watch the movie. It was amazing. I cried. And I love the series. Like, yeah, that's all I can say about it. Moving on. That's one of my topics. The 6th top series I read in 2016 was My Love Mixup. I started it at the end of 2021 and then continued it obviously in 2022. The volumes are slowly coming out in English, but I read it all online, like through like fan translations. Don't kill me. I'm still gonna buy the whole series. I thought this was such an amazing BL story about 2 boys in high school. I love the artwork. I love the comedy. It was a great series. It wasn't what's it called, toxic. And I really loved it. I remember watching the live action every weekend it came out. Like that was peak for me as well. I think that was still 2021, but I mean I didn't like the rushed ending, but at the end of the day I thought as a BL story this is literally one of my favorites. I hope that this mangaka makes some sort of sequel of them in university, because this is them in high school, and I think it'd be so fun. It'd be so fun to see them in like a university setting as they're a bit more mature and continuing like blossoming their relationship. If you like BL, if you like high school comedy, like lighthearted stuff, like so you're not always reading like dark shit like Monster. My Love Mixup is definitely a highly recommend. I really love reading it, and yeah, I hope and I'm excited to see them slowly pumping out all of the volumes. It's completed in Japan, it's completed, but in English it's slowly being pumped out. So I'm excited to continue to collect this still. So that's something to hold on to the series as we are in 2023 as well. 5th pick for my top reads of 2022 is Atelier. I think I recommend this series to everyone. Like, it is amazing. First off, the artwork is just chef's kiss. The storyline is great. It's not flawed. It's very like strong. The characters are great. I love these little girls, like little witches. Oh my gosh, just such a beautiful series, and it's such an interesting one as well. Like, I don't think I've ever read something as similar to this. I heard this is going to become an anime soon. I'm pretty sure. I'm not caught up. I had all of the volumes that are up to date in English, but I have not caught up. I think last time I read was volume 7. Yeah, volume 7. So I'm not caught up anymore on it, but I definitely will. I may even just reread it all again because it's just such a great series. And I just love his main character. She's adorable. She's amazing. She's great. The story is about this girl but she's known to be the non-magic folks of the world. And so I think she turns her mom to stone. I may be wrong, but when she does that, she's desperate to find a way to get her mom back. And the witches basically take her in and, teach her witchcraft, and witchcraft sounds weird, but teach her witch skills, and she's trying to become stronger and better. And of course there's this evil boding energy that is trying to do something against her, and we don't really know. Well, I don't really know. And there's so many supporting characters around her, and yeah, she's just so cute. She is lovely. It is definitely a series that I would recommend as well to people that don't necessarily read manga or anime, because again, I think it's really well done, and people that don't usually are people that are not part of this community in general, I think would still very much appreciate this series. So yeah, that's what Atelier. So the 8th series. Oh my god. Yo, Rumiko Takahashi, I already talked about you with Maison Ikkoku. Damn, that was scary. Anyways. So another of my top 22 reads is Kowloon, generic romance. I think I briefly talked about it before on here, but finally Volume 2 came out recently as well, so I got to read it, and it is very interesting, but also now it's going down a path I did not expect, like some weird doctor stuff going on. Like, I don't know what's going on with that, but the art style is stunning. I love her, and I think there is so much that we have to unpack, and I think it's just a very interesting idea of like a city of nostalgia. Like, it's just interesting because I don't think the term nostalgia is usually discussed that much in media, especially in manga. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's very different. Like, I've definitely never read anything like this before, so I'm very curious to see where this is going, and so far I really like it. I know I could probably read a bit more volumes online, but I highly recommend. It's a bit more of a mature read. It's very interesting. It's about this girl who lives in this city that's just like exudes nostalgia, and nothing changes in the city. It's always the same. Nothing will change, and her realizing that things aren't exactly what it seems. It's very odd, and there's definitely like sci-fi feels in here and very interesting. I think there will be more romance involved. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I really enjoyed reading the first 2 volumes of this in 2022, and I recommend it because I think this is something quite different than what I've personally read. So I hope maybe this is quite different from what you've read as well, and something new. If you liked After the Rain, which I absolutely loved, I loved After the Rain. It's from the same mangaka as After the Rain. Obviously a very different story, but if you love that art style, you're gonna love this one as well. So this is my 8th pick of 2022. My 9th out of the 10th pick for my top reads of 2022 is, I feel like, very underappreciated, and obviously, you know, the series isn't complete yet, so, you know, who knows where this may go down, but I loved reading Golden Japanese, a Splendid Yokohama romance. It is great. I love this series. No one talks about it. I don't think anybody cares about it. I do. I care about it, and I love reading the series. It's very slow with publishing wise. Like, I think I wait like every half a year. I swear, it's what it feels like for a new volume, but it is addicting. It is, you know, those love triangles. It's historical. It's you know, like what's the word? The black sheep. You know, trying to be part of society. Like, you know, the rich society. It's an underdog story, and it's great. Like, this series reminded me a bit of the Happy Marriage series that I talked about, I think, in my last video, which both are historical romances. The main girl lead is like mistreated her whole life, and we have like the saving guy. What I like about this series is the second male lead is actually very compelling, and I don't feel like he gets lost in their romance. Like, I think he has his own stance, and honestly, I think like there is a chance that she does end up with the second male lead instead of the first. Like I'm like clutching my pearls. I always want to know what's going on. Also, the art in this series is beautiful. The covers especially, I think the covers are so nice. Like, I love these covers. They're far back in there. I'm not gonna grab them all, but I highly recommend if you like romance and historical, like a historical romance. Mind you, is the outfits historically accurate? Probably not, but who cares? They're still beautiful, unless you're extremely historical, like, I need to be accurate. Anyways, that's not the main goal of the series. It is a romance. It is between a girl and this rich guy, and he basically accepts her. He's the first person to accept her for who she is. because she is half British, not just full Japanese, and so she has naturally blonde hair, so people outcast her a lot and do not like her. But this guy does. This main character, he's not on this cover, but this main character does. Right? I would like to see more of this come out, and like I can't find any information anywhere online. I can't read fan translations because there is no fan translations. I'm just like in like limbo here, waiting for more, and I want more, and hopefully maybe if you guys like it too, maybe you can like team up and get them to pump this out quicker. Yeah, that is my 9th pick. Yeah, 9th. I'm pretty sure it's my 9th. My 9th pick, Golden Japanese Gay, Splendid Yokohama romance. Yeah, I just want to say honorable mentions, Paradise Kiss. I read that this year and it was amazing. It became my personality for a week. Like, you know when you get hyper fixated on something? Yeah, that happened to me. And I read Paradise Kiss, loved it. I read it all in one sitting, boom. I started like at 9 p.m, finished like 3 in the morning. I'm a slow reader, so don't judge me, but that was like my life. So yeah, anyways, that's my honorable mention. I feel gutted, but at the same time, I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to give this book some love because I really loved it, and that is New York, New York. It is everything for me. This is a BL crime mystery. No, it gives me that nostalgic vibe because it is New York in the 90s, while at the same time having a small undertone of like a crime mystery involved in it. And it just took me all over the place, roller coasters, and I had such a great time reading New York, New York. I loved it. I think it's aged perfectly fine, and I think it was just a very nice read. I was thinking it's a nice read, but like I'm literally remembering, I literally was crying at one point when I was reading this series. I was crying this book, this one, but the thing about me is I love stories that take me through their whole life, and this is one of them. We see when they first meet to the very end, baby. Like, it is great, and very few series do that, and I love when they do because I really love seeing them, you know, in like different life stages, and you see their love change in different life stages. There's something about New York City and these two characters being from New York that just makes it so much more real to me. It's beautiful, and yeah, I mean, I don't want to say anything, I don't want to spoil anything, but I think it's a very beautiful read, and it touches on very serious topics. So of course there are some triggers that it's not suited for everybody. It really, that's what I'm saying, like it's very mature because it's very real, and I suggest maybe searching up about it before you read it in case, you know, it is too much for you. So this is my final pick of my top 2022 reads of this year. I've read so much, honestly. And the thing is, the beginning of 2022 versus the end of 2022 feels like 2 different years, to be honest with you. And so it's very hard to remember because a lot of things I also read were not physically. And so I'm just trying, and so when I was trying to come up with this list, the easiest way for me to remember is looking at my collection, and these are the ones that stood out to me. So I definitely feel like I probably left out series that I may have wanted to put on my top 10 list. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I apologize for my allergy looking face, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing 2023 year. All the best and all the luck to you guys, and I hope I can be more consistent, but realistically I'm gonna be back in school soon and it's just gonna spiral. But you know what, usually though, when I try to avoid doing my work, that's when I like to film, so maybe I would be doing some avoidance stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. See you guys sometime soon.